This video demonstrates how to deploy S3-compatible object storage to a Gearlinx device using containers. The device used in this demonstration is a Gearlinx NR4400 management appliance that is running firmware version 23770. The same configuration steps can be performed on any Gearlinx device that supports containers, or using Gearlinx 0 to apply the configuration to many devices at once. MinIO is a high-performance object store that is compatible with AWS S3, providing an API for uploading and downloading files and other object data. It can be configured to replicate across multiple sites, which makes it ideal for deploying to the edge for object storage in close proximity to applications that use it. Container images for MinIO are available on the Docker Hub and key image registries, which make it simple to deploy using a container. Reading the documentation for the image shows how the container can be run. It has the container image name, the S3-compatible API is on TCP port 9000, the MinIO web interface is on TCP port 9001, and the objects are stored on disk in the data directory in the root of the file system. Some entry point arguments are also required. MinIO's documentation also shows that the default root user's name and password can be set using environment variables. In this demonstration, the NR4400 is being configured using the local web interface. On the administration menu, open the Compute section and click Containers. This device has no containers configured, so add one and call it MinIO. On the Image tab, set it to use the MinIO image on key.io. On the Mounts tab, set the application data volume to be mounted at /data. Volumes are used to organize files on the host device, and have configurable user access controls. You may choose to create a new volume specifically for backing the MinIO data. On the Network tab, the Use Host Networking option can be chosen to simplify the container setup because TCP ports 9000 and 9001 won't conflict with any network services running on the device. On the Environment Variables tab, set a username and password for the MinIO root user. On the Services tab, expose TCP ports 9000 and 9001 through the device's firewall. Both services will be accessible over network interfaces in the internal zone, which is Net 1 by default on the NR4400. Back on the Details tab, add the entry point arguments from the container image documentation. The container configuration is complete. Click Save Configuration, and the device will download the container image if it does not have it cached locally, and will then start the container. Once the container is running, the S3 HTTP API endpoint is available at the Gearlinx device's IP address on port 9000. It can be used to upload or download files. Additionally, the MinIO Management Console on port 9001 can be used to manage files. Log in with the MinIO root user credentials that were set in the container's environment variables. Create a new bucket. And upload a file. Returning to the NR4400's web interface, the application data volume can be opened in the file browser, and the object store data is available and will be persisted on disk. This demonstrates the successful deployment of MinIO.